work with every single day of the week, and she's also just a very cool, talented person. I think you have a lot that you can learn from her. I didn't know some things about Erica, even after working with her for 4 years. It was just kind of recently that I found out some of the story of how she got to where she is now that I thought, you need to hear this because I think you'll be surprised. Erica has worked in television news for more than a decade, I think 15 years or so.
18.
Yeah, 18 years. She began behind the scenes at Channel 13 here in town, WTHR, and it took years before she began doing work in front of the camera. In the meantime, she went and worked at a TV station in Columbus, Ohio for a little while, and then came back to Channel 6 in the year 2000. So it's been 11 years that she's been on Channel 6. She's on at 5 o'clock every weeknight with Todd Connor. And sometimes you'll see her, like for the past week or two, she was filling in for Todd. So the two of us were on every newscast together for a few weeks. Erica goes out in the field and reports too, so she's double duty on the anchor desk and out in the field doing stories and interviewing people and bringing those reports to the 11 o'clock news, so it's a very busy day. And in all of her spare time, which there is very little of, she's involved in the community too, volunteering with this organization that she started herself, Wings to Fly, a takeoff on her last name, which is Fly, where she helps young girls with a mentoring program and teaching them a lot of things about how to improve their lives and self-esteem and how to be successful in the future. So she's going to talk to us a little about her job, how she got where she is now, what she does with young people to kind of bring them up and show them that they too can be really successful in their future. And I want to give any of you a chance before we finish to ask Erica questions that you have about television, about mentoring, about the students she works with, anything that you're curious about, you can ask her. She grew up in Anderson, I didn't mention that, so she's from here in central Indiana. I'm pleased to introduce Erica Flye. Welcome.
How's everybody doing? Awake, alert. This is early for me because I normally don't wake up until about 11:30, 12 o'clock in the afternoon because I work the second shift. So I go into work at 2 o'clock and I go to bed really late. So this is early, but I'm glad to be here and talk to you guys. And thank you, Tricia, for inviting me. I appreciate that. This is a really good program to have people come in and speak with you. I want to tell you a little bit about myself and how I got to where I am. And then I want to allow a lot of time for you guys to ask questions because I find that that's what people I speak to, they know what they want to know and they want to get their questions out. So we will allow some time for that. Tricia told you I am a news anchor and a news reporter as well. You guys watch the news?
Raise your hand if you watch the news. Once in a while.
You do? Okay. And you watch Channel 6, right?
Yes.
Okay, well I hope that you do. Let me tell you how I started out in the business, and I'll go way back to when I was young, your age. I was really shy, believe it or not. I didn't want to talk in front of anyone. Doing this right now would have been terrifying for me. I had a speech impediment when I was young. I couldn't say my R's. I had to go to speech therapy class. Instead of saying rabbit, I would say wabbit. So, yeah, exactly. And so I thought I was different than everyone else. I thought I wasn't normal. All my friends spoke just fine, but here I had this speech impediment. So I kind of took myself away from all of my friends and thought they're normal and I'm not. And I just was in a little bubble of my own. I was really shy. I didn't want to talk to anyone because of my speech impediment. And I thought that's how it would be for the rest of my life. I would just be in this bubble. But I started taking speech therapy classes. I got through that. It took a couple of years, but I got past my speech impediment. And then I started becoming more social. I had more friends. I felt like I fit in. Then came, I guess I would say peer pressure. I just felt like I wasn't matching up with all my friends. They were so much more advanced than me. So it kept me kind of shy. And I had a big sister, who she also works with me at Channel 6 right now, but she's behind the scenes. That's another story. But she was so outgoing, talked to everyone, was involved with everything. And I was like, that's not me. I'm too shy to do anything like that. So I always let her take that role. I took a back seat to her. She would always be involved in everything, speaking to everyone, and I just was fine, just in the background, letting her do all the talking. So still, I was in my shy role. Speech class came, and I found that it was something that I really wanted to do, talk in front of people. I had a love for it, but I couldn't bring myself to do that. I was too shy. I think a lot of that stems from back when I had the speech impediment and didn't want to talk in front of people. So I was terrified. I'd be that person who would sit back of class, all my classes, and hope the teacher didn't call on me. Put my head down. And she'd ask for, someone to raise their hand to answer a question, and I'd be terrified that she would call on me. So you wonder, after having that background, speech impediment, shyness, how in the world would I choose a career where you speak in front of tons of people? Well, it was kind of by accident. My sister, she's 3 years older than me, she went to college first, obviously, and she started studying what's called communications. So I asked her, when I started thinking about what I wanted to go to school for and what I wanted to study, she said, oh, it's just, you get to be on TV. That's basically what she told me. You get to be on TV. I said, oh, I'm interested in that. I think that's something I would like to do. So I followed in her footsteps, and I went to college, and I studied communications. Well, that's when I found out that it's a lot more than just being on TV. It's a lot of public speaking, talking in front of people, radio, television. And that's what it's all about, communication. So I thought, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to overcome this obstacle. I'm going to overcome my shyness. I'd broken out of a little bit of it in high school. I was a cheerleader and on the tennis team, involved in some different things. So I broke out of a little bit, but not enough to talk on TV in front of people. So here it comes again, that obstacle that I was going to have to overcome. Everyone in class, it seemed, was so much better than me. There was one girl that I worked with, and right now she's a news anchor in Washington, D.C. She was so good from the very start. From the first day of class, she looked like she could be a news anchor. She was that good. And I thought, I can never match up to that. She's great. So I got my little bubble again and decided that I was going to isolate myself away from everyone else. They were better than me. I couldn't match up to them. That's what I thought in my head. So I graduated. I actually graduated college thinking that way. And I thought, I'm not going to pursue that career because there are so many other people who are better than me at it. I saw that in college. So I decided to pursue other things. Once I got out of college, I started pursuing other things. I moved to Chicago. I moved to Los Angeles, California. I actually worked at Universal Studios in Hollywood, California as a ride operator. I was like strapping people in. You know, I would make sure they were secure and their seatbelt was tight. And that's what I decided I was comfortable doing. I was behind the scenes, I wasn't in front of anyone, I didn't have to speak, and I thought, this is where I'm happy, this is where I'm comfortable. Well, that was okay for about a year, and I just had this bug inside of me that I really want to be in front of the camera. I really want to be an on-air talent. I really want to do what I went to college to do. And I needed to find a way to overcome this shyness and just wanting to be in the background where I was comfortable. So, long story short, I took my first job. I came back home. I came back to Indianapolis, and I took my first job at the NBC station here, Channel 13. It was behind the scenes, where I was happy. I took a production job, which in production and TV, you do all kinds of things. You mic people up, you can run the audio board, you can be a floor director, you can run the cameras in the studio. There's all kinds of jobs behind the scenes that you can do. And so that's what I did for 4 years behind the scenes, where I was happy. And then it just started bubbling up again, this desire to be on TV and to do the news. Especially when you work at a news station, then you start getting hungry to want to do the news. started getting hungry to know what's going on in the world and to want to report that information to other people. So I went to my boss one day and I said, I really would like to be on air. And he said, okay, would you like to be an anchor or a reporter? And I said, I don't know. And he goes, well, why don't you go home and think about it, and then you come back when you've made up your mind. Which kind of was a bold statement for him to make to someone as shy as me, because I could have crawled back into my hole where I was comfortable, you know, with that kind of response. But I didn't. I went home and I actually thought about it. What do I want? Do I want to be a news anchor where I'm sitting in the studio reporting the news, or do I want to be out in the field interacting with people, doing live shots on location? And I came back to him the very next day because I thought, I'm not going to lose this desire that I have. So I went to his office and I said, I want to be a news anchor. And he said, okay, we'll start you on that path. And that's what he did. He put me on camera within the next 2 weeks. I was on TV. It was 2, 3 in the morning where not a whole lot of people were watching at that hour. I was just doing what's called news cut-ins. So the point is, he threw me out there and I had to react. I had to overcome my shyness. I had to overcome this obstacle that's been holding me back my whole life. And there were even times when I was so nervous I could feel my speech impediment come back. Every now and then I would go back into not being able to say my R's. You know, that's how nerves take over sometimes. But I didn't let it stop me. I said, I got this far. My boss is on my side. He's helping me out. He's mentoring me. I'm going to take that and I'm going to run with it. And that's what I did. I did that overnight news cut-in thing for about a year. And then I went to Columbus, Ohio and got my first job as an anchor, a real news anchor, reporter. And from then on, it's been full speed ahead. I stayed in Columbus, Ohio for 3 years, and then I came back here, and I've been here in Indianapolis at the ABC affiliate now for 11 years. So my point to you all through all this is there were so many reasons that I could have stayed over here in my bubble. I wasn't as good as everybody else. I had a speech impediment. Everyone else seemed to be normal. I was shy. I didn't like talking in front of people. And here I am. This is my career. So I went from that to this. So when I'm telling you guys, if there's anything that you feel is going to hold you back from chasing your dreams, 1 or 2 or 3 things that you feel like you can't overcome, you can do it. I'm a living example that you can do it. If there's something you feel like is so far out of reach, someone else is so much better at it than you are, nonsense. Don't let it ever stop you from achieving your goals and reaching your dreams. Now, I say all that to tell you that I also had another dream. A few years ago, I decided that I wanted to help young people, young girls specifically, reach their dreams like I did. And I didn't feel like there were enough organizations in the community that were actually, I mean, there's Big Brothers, Big Sisters, there's Girls Incorporated. But I just wanted something a little smaller, a little more intimate, and I didn't really feel like it was out there. And I thought, if I want that and it's not out there, I'm going to have to be the one to start it. So what I did one day is I called about 5 of my girlfriends, and they are professionals in the community, and they came over to my house, and we had pizza in my living room, and we decided that we were going to start a mentoring group. We didn't know anything about how to start a mentoring group or being a mentor. I'd never been a mentor in my life, but I said, let's just do it. We'll learn as we go. So about a month later, we met up with a principal at one of the IPS schools here, and we decided we were going to use some of her students and begin our first mentoring group. And that's what we did. We had 10 girls in our first group. They were 5th grade girls, and we called it Wings to Fly, after my name. And what we started doing was teaching them life skills, self-respect, respect for others, discovering your gifts and talents, etiquette, just things like that. Things that we felt like young girls needed to know through life, but might not be getting that at home, might not be getting it at school, might just need someone to give them a lift up. And that's what we did. I have some pictures over here. I've had 4, let's see, I'm on my 4th now. I've had 3 groups of girls graduate